Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Carl Walker. I'm actually here on a Skype call with Michael Laderman. He's actually the Director of Academic Communications at Clemson University. How are you doing today, Michael?
I couldn't be any better. How about yourself,
I'm
Carl?
doing just fine. Thanks for asking. This is pretty awesome. So, my first question to you actually would be to tell us a little bit about your role at Clemson University.
Really, it's that of, I guess the easiest way to say it is that of a storyteller. My job is to get the word out about what makes Clemson University academics so good and so strong. Now, that being said, it's not my job to write the stories on behalf of Clemson University. It's my job to get others in the media to write the stories about Clemson University. So it's finding what those stories are. It's finding all the good out about Clemson academics and then getting those in the external media to write about us.
Okay, that's awesome. So it's kind of like you're helping move the story along to the public in a way that the public will receive it in a well-fashioned manner. Okay.
Exactly.
All right, great. All right, so what has been one of your biggest challenges in your role as director?
Well, I got to tell you, there are no challenges. It's really easy at Clemson because Clemson is so well known. It has such a strong reputation that no matter who I pitch a story to, whether it's an outlet that is either in our own backyard, anywhere around the state, anywhere around the region, or anywhere across the United States, there's not been an editor or a producer that has not heard of Clemson University and how strong it is. So I wouldn't say challenges. I'd say the job itself has been pretty simple because of the strength of Clemson. Now, I know that's probably not an answer you might be hoping for. I will say that if you want to look at a challenge in PR, it's the challenge of trying to sell your story to get somebody to actually write it. But again, it goes back to because the name and the brand of Clemson is really strong, it's made my job really easy.
Oh, that's awesome. That is awesome. So, I mean, it just looking at the public relations field, there's a lot of things going on out there, especially in the world of sports. I mean, there's bad press, good press, just depending on what's going on. Okay, now how does all the things that you're doing in your role help to integrate with the school's goal as far as marketing, as far as their business plan and objectives?
Well, the plan is, of course, we do things just like every other university. We're there to educate, but at the same time, let's be honest, we're also there to make sure we have enough students. We're also there to generate a revenue which keeps the university cycle moving forward. And with the public affairs office telling the story as we do, that gets the interest out there for the general community. It gets the interest out there for those who might be saying, do I want Clemson? Do I want University of South Carolina? Do I want another university? Who am I thinking about now? Well, I just saw an article about Clemson University, so you know what? Let me look into that program. It's those little things which help generate that interest, which will make somebody click on our website, which will make somebody want to come to campus. And in the end, it helps the admissions, it helps the enrollment, and it helps educate the community.
That's correct. That's definitely correct. I was actually talking to a student a couple weeks ago, and he expressed to me, which actually stuck out to me. He said that choosing a school is an emotional connection. You have to find that emotional connection because this is where you're going to be spending, 2, 3, 4 years of your life, trying to pursue your education. So that message that comes through the public relations and marketing and things like that is very important. So that's great. Okay. Moving forward from that, taking your role and going into the next level, as far as like some of the strategies that you and your team use to communicate that, what are some of those things that you guys work on?
Well, we all know social media, right? We all say, well, we got to put things out on Twitter and we need to put things out on Facebook. And we all, I don't want to say all, I hate saying all, but so many of us say, and don't forget, email is dying, and so are newspapers. Well, don't say that they're dying. Don't say that people don't use email. Don't just focus on Twitter. Don't just focus on Facebook or Pinterest or any other social media means. You have to use all of them. And that's what we do, and we do it pretty well. We are very strong on our website. We are very strong on the news page on our website. We're very strong at driving people to our website. And to do that, we're using Facebook, we're using Twitter. You have to know how to use Facebook and Twitter, though. If you just put something up one time on Twitter, how many people are actually going to see it? You have to know how often to actually send out a tweet. You have to know actually how often to send a tweet to a respective editor or to a respective producer to make sure that they'll retweet it for you. And you have to also not forget to use your regular media list and use your email to get to that regular media list. If you are forgetting about email and the communication with that because the so-called latest trends are people aren't using email, don't buy into that, because the latest trends are just not true with how they're reported to the respective community. If you hear nobody's using email anymore, ask yourself, well, did I check my email today? If the answer is yes, then you're still using email.
Wow. Okay, that makes total sense. That's actually true. That is actually true. I mean, I'm usually on my email, social media, like most of the day anyway. And that's how we communicate with a lot of students, other classmates, stuff like that. But also with the school. So that's pretty cool.
But it's again, Paul, it's about bringing everything together. It's not just using one, or it's not just using social media, and it's not forgetting about everything else. It's making sure every facet of your communications ties in together with one another. Tie in your web message with your Twitter message, with your Facebook message, with your email message.
Okay.
And that's what we do, and we do a pretty good job of that.
Okay, so you're aligning that message across different boards, just using different avenues to reach different people as well. Okay.
Absolutely.
All right. So this question is more on like a student looking at the public relations field. What kind of advice do you have for a student looking at a possible career in public relations? What are some of the things that you as a director would look for in somebody coming into this field?
Well, I want somebody who's honest. I want somebody who's energetic. The last thing I want is somebody who thinks that to do a good job in public relations, you have to be the so-called car salesman. I go to so many. I've been in this business for 19 years in PR, and then before that for 8 years as a reporter and editor. And with the amount of conferences that I've gone to, I have seen my colleagues, fellow PR people, walking and working the room saying, "Hey, how are you? It's so good to see you. Really a pleasure. Hey, let's do lunch. Hey." And it's not themselves. They're playing a PR role. I don't want anybody like that on my team. I want somebody who's just going to be open and honest, be themselves, because quite frankly, that's what other people want. That's what reporters want. That's what the general community wants. They don't want a car salesman sitting in these kind of positions. So you got to be upfront. You got to be yourself. Don't try and schmooze, be it me or anybody else. And be energetic, though, too. Be somebody who says, you know what? I know that in PR, I have to work hard. I know in PR, I have to work past 5 o'clock. I know I'm going to have events on Saturday. I know I'm going to have some events on Sunday. I know I'm on call 24/7, but I'm going to embrace it because I'll tell you, it's a fun job.
Awesome. That is awesome advice. Well, Michael, I really want to thank you for your time today. You've given me some great insight on this public relations field. Ladies and gentlemen, again, Michael Laderman of Clemson University, Director of Communications. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Carl. My pleasure.
All right. Awesome. All right. Have a good one.